I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Today I'm finally going to cover December's indie comic solicitations. I am very sorry this is getting out much later than anticipated, but it's quite a bit of work compiling all this information, and new, more time-sensitive video topics kept coming up. But without further ado, it's time for my breakdown of all the new comics from Image, Alterna, IDW, Boom Studios, Dark Horse, Valiant, and Dynamite Entertainment. Image Comics is releasing 5 new #1 issues in December. Hardcore Reloaded is the sequel series to Andy Diggle's Hardcore miniseries earlier this year, which started out great, but sunk under the weight of its own premise. This go-around, writer Brandon Thomas takes up the pen for Reloaded. Lauren Keeley makes her comic writing debut alongside Jonathan Luna in the mature sci-fi series 20XX. The series tells a story about a dramatic, sometimes violent, but always complex social landscape of sim gang rivalries in Anchorage, Alaska. The Old Guard returns with writer Greg Rucka for Force Multiplied, which is soon to be a feature-length movie starring Charlize Theron and Kiki Layne. Although the biggest selling point for me is artist Leandro Fernandez. The only Image comic debut that really has me interested is the mysterious Project Xmas from Mark Millar. Solicits promise the sequel to one of the most beloved Millarworld projects since the dawn of time. The twist is that you don't know what it is, and like all good gifts, you're in for a nice surprise when you open the delivery boxes on December 18th. I'm honestly not sure what this comic might be, but I would love to hear your thoughts on Mark Millar's mystery Christmas present in the comments section below. In total, Image Comics is releasing 37 new books in December. I'm personally even more sold on Scott Snyder and Charles Soule's Undiscovered Country after seeing the second cover and solicit information. Criminal number 11 is probably the indie comic I'm most looking forward to. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are crafting another crime noir masterpiece, and the solicit information is short and very sweet. The Heist, the most explosive issue of the Cruel Summer arc yet. Insta-buy. Spawn returns to its normal $3 cover price following the milestone 300 and 301 issues. Spawn artist Jason Sean Alexander delivers a phenomenal cover for the follow-up issue of Rodney Barnes' Philadelphia. Is former U.S. President John Adams truly behind the vampire outbreak? Feels like my instincts were right on this series. It's gonna be a winner. Finally, I gotta talk about the disappointment that Die has become following its return from a short hiatus. Writer Kieran Gillen has chosen to focus on what terrible people his characters are of late, and it's really hurt my enjoyment of the series. While Die was once an insta-buy, it's now fallen to prove-it status. The story quality has fallen off very dramatically. I'm planning on buying Undiscovered Country number 2, Criminal number 11, Spawn 304, Philadelphia number 2, and Middle West 13. These 5 comics from Image will set me back $19. My personal favorite comic publisher in the entire industry releases 5 new comics in December, along with 1 reprint and a giant size collection. Before I get into the new comics, I gotta say what an absolute crazy deal Alterna's Blood Realm Giant is. An 80-page full-length story for $5 is phenomenal. And I can vouch that the story and art are both well worth your time and money, especially for fantasy readers. I defy anyone to show me another publisher delivering anything close to this type of bang for your buck. And it has that amazing newsprint smell. The Wicked Righteous Exodus is the follow-up to my personal favorite Alterna series from writer Terry Mayo and artist Lucas Romero. Mayo is one of the best in the industry at characterization and dialogue. The Wicked Righteous is an absolute gem. Voidwalker looks like a cool supernatural series, while Midnight Mystery remains a cult favorite among Alterna readers. Alterna is also releasing the 10th issue of their anthology series. It came out on a Wednesday, a double-sized comic for only $2. I personally have a standing order for all new Alterna comics with my shop. I'll be buying all 5 new comics as well as the reprint and giant-sized Blood Realm. My wallet will be very relieved these 7 comics only cost $14 in total. IDW has 7 new number 1s in December, and there's quite a few interesting ones to choose from. Fans of Netflix's Narcos have a 4-issue miniseries starting from writer Ryan Farid. The one I'm personally most interested in is DuckTales, Fairs and Scares from writer Steve Belling. I'm always looking for age-appropriate books for my son, and this hits the mark 100%. Hopefully they'll actually sell this series in the Philippines, because due to licensing agreements, I can't get my hands on Star Wars Adventures or Marvel Action Spider-Man. Horror fans are likely to be most interested in Lock and Key scribe Joe Hill's latest IDW offering, Dying is Easy. The 6-part mini tells the story of a disgraced cop turned stand-up comedian approached to kill a rival comedian who's been stealing jokes. Finally, former Marvel writer Sina Grace returns with Read-Only Memories. The premise is certainly interesting enough. When a robot's human lover goes missing, Lexi will be faced with a case unlike any she's tackled yet. IDW is releasing 31 comics in total, with most of the interesting ones being licensed properties. Sophie Campbell finally joins the writing team alongside Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle issue 101, which promises a whole new status quo following the conclusion of City at War in issue 100. TMNT fans also have Urban Legends number 20 to look forward to. Stan Sakai's latest Usagi Yojimbo continues his outstanding current story arc with a new jumping on point. Larry Hama continues his Snake Hunt story in G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero 271. This massive 10-part story features every single member of G.I. Joe. Joe readers also have G.I. Joe number 4 from Paul Aylor to look forward to. Riots are up on Cybertron and Transformers 16, while Transformers Galaxy continues its Constructicons Rising story in December. I gotta say how disappointing it is to have the world's biggest Transformers fan in my house, and IDW isn't releasing a single Transformers comic appropriate for children. I personally plan on investing in DuckTales for my son, and TMNT 101 and Usagi Yojimbo number 7 for me, for a total of $12. Boom Studios is releasing 3 number 1 issues and 23 in total. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first ever crossover begins in December. The Boom IDW crossover event is probably the biggest debut for any indie title. The story sees Green Ranger Tommy Oliver join forces with the Shredder. Power Rangers ace writer Ryan Parrott helms the project. This is most certainly an insta-buy in my book. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 46 sees the Omega Rangers suffer a betrayal, and the Solicit promises not everyone will make it out alive. Grant Morrison and Dan Moore's Klaus in the Life and Times of Joe Christmas is appropriately holiday themed and will release in widescreen comic format for $8. Whedonverse books Angel and Buffy are still wrapped up in Boom's Hellmouth event. I'm not terribly interested in the Hellmouth event, but I'm certainly still buying Brian Hill's Angel. It's one of the best indie comics on the market. I plan on buying Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Angel, and Folklords number 2 from the terribly underrated Matt Kent. My December Boom Comics haul will cost me $13. Dark Horse is releasing 26 new comics with a set of 6 very intriguing number 1 issues. Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer universe gets a bit bigger in December with the debut of 6-issue miniseries Skulldigger from the world of Black Hammer. Jeremy Barlow's Alien vs. Predator Thicker Than Blood debuts. Predators board a luxury spaceship before an unexpected ally arrives to help the last remaining survivors. Steve Niles, the creator behind 30 Days of Night, launches his latest installment of the criminal macabre story, The Bleed Out. Fans of noir and vampires should be on the lookout for this 4-part miniseries. Finally, Mike Mignola is releasing Hellboy in the BPRD, The Seven Wives Club, one-shot in December. Hellboy creator Mike Mignola reunites with fan-favorite artist Adam Hughes for a spirit-fueled screamfest sure to excite old and new fans alike. I plan on pulling Aliens vs. Predators Thicker Than Blood number 1 and Ether the Disappearance of Violet Bell number 4 from the terribly underrated Matt Kent. My Dark Horse pulls will put an $8 dent in my wallet. Valiant Comics, my former favorite comic publisher, continues struggling to understand their audience through the end of 2019. They're offering just one new comic series, The Visitor by Paul Levitz. Of the other 5 new comics they're offering, not a single one is Exo Manowar, Ninja K, or Shadow Man. The only flagship character available is Bloodshot from Tim Seeley and Brett Ruth, which features amazing visuals but suspect dialogue in my opinion. Rather than delivering a Ninja K series, Valiant is releasing a Roku miniseries from one of the most boring writers in the entire industry, Cullen Bunn. I would love to be excited for the Rise series. He is my favorite comic character after all, but the choice of artist is all wrong. I'll be passing on any Valiant titles in December. Dynamite is offering 2 new number 1s, and both should have an audience waiting. James Bond relaunch is one of the oddest creative choices I've seen in quite some time. Bidayal has shown some promise as a writer, but nothing she's done so far screams spy thriller extraordinaire in her future. Hopefully I'm wrong, but this feels like the wrong marriage of character and writer. yearThis relaunches with Dan Abnett and one of my favorite up-and-coming artists, Bosco Georgiev. I backed all of Georgiev's shifted Kickstarter books. I'm so happy he's finally getting his big break after being a one-man show at Diamond Age Comics. Otherwise, Dynamite is releasing 13 comics in total, and it's mostly the Vampirella show in December. If you look at December's Dynamite page on Previews World, it's absolutely ridiculous trying to figure out how many new comics they're actually releasing. It feels like there are a couple thousand Vampy variant covers in reprints. While I'm not the least bit interested in yearThis, I'll probably buy the first issue for $4 just to keep supporting Bosco's art. He's a great dude, and I wish him well. There's not much else I'm too interested in December. I'll definitely be buying Blade Runner 2019 number 5 from Titan Comics. Blade Runner is one of the best indies on the market. If you like the Blade Runner movie or sci-fi books in general, you should definitely check it out. This is a must-buy for me at $4. Fans of BBC's Sherlock have the follow-up to Titan Comics' manga adaptation with Sherlock, A Scandal in Belgravia. Ahoy Comics releases the second issue of Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man. Also of note is Devil's Due releasing AOC in the Freshman Force Squad. Devil's Due shockingly lost money on their first AOC comic, despite it being the most highly publicized comic in the entire industry in 2019. I'm flabbergasted they actually managed to lose money on that venture. It will be interesting to see if they can unscrew their marketing and make a profit on a political satire comic. Seems like it should sell itself these days, to be honest. That does it for December's indie comic solicitations. Not a ton exciting going on for the most part. Image Comics' Criminal and Undiscovered Country sound like can't miss reads. Alterna's $5 80-page Blood Realm Giant is the best value on the market. Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover feels like it should be a ton of fun. Jeff Lemire expands his Black Hammer universe with Skulldigger. Also, I'm very excited to see Bosco Georgiev arrive on Dynamite Entertainment's yearThis. If you have any indie comics recommendations or opinions on any of the books I covered, please hit me up in the comments section below. Look for a new comic review video on the channel tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for December's Indie Comic Book Solicitations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.